Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have some fantastic news for those of you that play on PC and have wanted to check out Dragon Quest VIII, or you're just looking for a new way to play a game you already love. If you're into Dragon Quest content like top 10 videos, reviews, guides, and news, please remember to like, subscribe, turn notifications to all so you don't miss the next video. You can also hype the video to help others find it, and if you want to help the channel out financially, be sure to join the channel and become a Dragon Warrior today. Now let's get into this. Alright, so Dragon Quest VIII now has a PC port. That's right, this is a port of the mobile version that has been heavily modded so that the graphics are a lot crisper, it runs in widescreen, it has controller support and all that good stuff. Shoutouts to the Yggdrasil modding community, as well as Mike9K1, Speensrow, Nekonosuke, Tim's Retro Sessions, and Playinful for putting this together. So yeah, Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King is now running natively on Windows through an unofficial PC port built from the Android version of the game. That detail matters. This isn't the PlayStation 2 edition running through an emulator, and it isn't a recompilation of the original console release. The Windows version comes from the existing Android codebase and builds on the work already done for Dragon Quest VIII Mobile Remaster, also known as Dragon Quest VIII MR. It brings the mobile version across to desktop PCs with landscape support, higher frame rates, improved graphics, and several features that weren't included in the standard smartphone release. It is still a work in progress though, and that is important to note. This is version 0.51, so it's definitely still in beta. This is an early preview of the game, but you can play it. It is available for you to check out. The Android version sits at the center of the project. Square Enix released Dragon Quest VIII for Android and iOS more than a decade ago. That version changed quite a lot to make the game work on phones. The interface was redesigned for touch controls, the game ran in portrait mode, menus, movements, and general interaction all had smartphones in mind rather than controllers, keyboards, or desktop monitors. That's the version being used here. The Windows project takes that mobile code and adapts it to run directly on a PC. In other words, you don't need an Android emulator sitting between Windows and the game. The result behaves as a Windows application while still carrying plenty of DNA from the mobile release. That also explains some of its current rough edges. There's a little bit of jank in this, if you haven't noticed yet in this footage. The PC version isn't based on the untouched Android release. It uses the much more heavily modified Dragon Quest VIII Mobile Remaster as its starting point. Dragon Quest VIII MR has already changed large parts of the smartphone edition. It adds higher quality textures, improves the way the game renders its world, and upgrades several visual elements that look dated or compressed on modern displays. I would say the game looks amazing sometimes and weird as heck at others. Audio has received attention too. Voice acting can be restored, while orchestral music replaces the more limited soundtrack setup found in the standard mobile release. Pre-rendered video material has also been improved, making the package feel much less like a straight smartphone port running on a bigger screen. The Windows build carries those changes across to PC and can target 60 frames per second. That's one of the most obvious improvements when moving around the game world or watching battles play out. Landscape display support also makes a huge difference. Dragon Quest VIII was never really a natural fit for the tall phone screen, and the wider PC presentation gives the game far more room to breathe. But some mobile habits haven't disappeared yet. The conversion isn't finished. Because the project has started with a touch-focused Android game, parts of the interface still expect the kind of direct input you'd normally use on a phone. On PC, that means the mouse is still needed for some menus and interactions where you'd probably expect a controller to handle everything. That's likely to be one of the main areas that changes as development continues. A proper PC version needs to feel comfortable with a gamepad from start to finish. Keyboard and mouse support also has to work consistently rather than feeling like a replacement for tapping a touchscreen. There are graphical issues in the current build as well, so while the game is already running on Windows, this isn't a polished commercial PC release with every menu and control system rebuilt around desktop hardware. Think of it as a working native conversion that's still being cleaned up. The biggest caveat here is that you still need to own the mobile game. The Windows release doesn't contain everything needed to play Dragon Quest VIII by itself. You'll still need a legitimate copy of the mobile version. The PC project provides the conversion and modification work, while the commercial game files come from the copy you already own. The new code handles the Windows side of things, but doesn't replace the original game purchase. For anyone who already owns Dragon Quest VIII on mobile, that means the same release can now form the basis of a much more conventional desktop version. Dragon Quest VIII first launched in 2004 and became one of the series' most recognizable entries. It follows a young royal guard traveling with King Trode after the magician Dulmagus places their kingdom under a curse. Yangus, Jessica, and Angelo eventually join the journey, giving the game the party-based structure expected from the series. Combat sticks to traditional turn-based battles, while character development revolves around equipment, skill points, and different weapon specialties. There's also the alchemy pod, which let players combine items to create new equipment and supplies. The game became especially well known for its large 3D environments and cel-shaded character designs based on Akira Toriyama's artwork. Now the Android release is giving Dragon Quest VIII another route onto modern hardware. The current Windows build isn't pretending to be something it's not. It's an Android-based port expanded through years of mobile remaster work and adapted to run natively on PC. It already offers 60 frames per second gameplay, landscape presentation, and restored audio-visual features, while controller support and interface work still need attention. For now, the interesting part is simple. Dragon Quest VIII is running directly on Windows, and it's doing so through a version of the game that started life on cell phones. So what do you guys think of Dragon Quest VIII on PC? What do you think of this port of essentially the mobile version of the game? Have you played the mobile version of Dragon Quest VIII? Would you recommend people check it out? Would you recommend people check this one out? Basically, if the mobile version is good, this is going to be a better way to play that version. So let me know down in the comments if you'd recommend people check that out and check this out, and also tell me what your thoughts are on this entire project. Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a good way to tie us over until we get an actual official PC release of Dragon Quest VIII, or even some kind of a remake? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, turn notifications to all so you don't miss the next one. You can also hype the video to help others find it, and it helps out the channel a ton. If you want to help the channel out financially, be sure to join the channel, become a Dragon Warrior today. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.